Hey y'all, so I'm about to make my first pen, and I got my blank here. This is blood wood, and from what I know, my first step is to measure it, and I've already did that off camera, but I have my brass tubes here. They say you want to lay it out, and you want to give maybe 1/8 of an inch on both sides, and that's what I did. You can do a quarter, but it's just less work you have to do later. But I might just cut over it, just the hair. I'm here at my skull saw. You can use whatever saw, however you want to cut it. Just get it cut. And that's what I'm going to do. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, because the next job, that's what we're going to do. Or later on in the process, we'll do it. There's one. You can see that we got a little bit of play on the top and the bottom, so that's a good size. And then we'll do it again. This may not be the safest way to do it, with my fingers that close to the blade, but that's the risk I'm taking, because I play with danger. Alright, so next thing you do is we got to put this in the vise and get it drilled out. One step that I forgot to do, because it's my first pen, I haven't no experience doing this yet, was you're supposed to mark your blank if you have two brass tubes, so you know which way to assemble them on your mandrel. Well, luckily I didn't cut the sticker off on the back, so I just put it back together. Anyway, this is one block. It was solid, and you can see the grains all together. The reason you want to mark it is because you don't want to assemble it on your mandrel backwards, because some wood grains are flipped. You can tell that they're off. So you want to leave them in the same direction, but I don't really need to mark it because this piece of tape is kind of like my marker. So after I get it drilled out, as long as I put them on there in the same direction, I'll be good. So the next thing you want to do is you got to mark your center so you can get your brass tube as close as possible to center. So what you'll do, take a straight edge and just line up your corners. I'll try to do this where you can see. Make you a mark. And then do it again after rotating 90 degrees. You don't have to be perfect, but you want close. And then you have your center point. You want to do that on both pieces, or however many pieces you got. When you're drilling, you just want to try to get closest to the middle as possible, so when you drill that hole in there, it's not off to the side. And by giving you the middle crosshair here, will give you a good visual when you go to drill it out. Okay, so after you get your marks, I don't have that little indentation clicker thing. I don't know what it's called, but I'm a welder by trade, and I do have some tungsten that's sharp. So you're just going to take that and use it as a punch. Find your center. And what I'm going to do is just lightly tap it with a hammer. Oops. Let's try this again. I should have had a hammer in my hand already. Put that bad boy dead center. I'm just going to tap. A little nipple pop, whatever that you put in there. That way when you get your brad point, it can find that center and just go in there. I went ahead and flipped them over and marked the other sides as well. And I'll tell you in a minute why. Give me just a moment. Pop these in real quick. It's just a light little tap. If you know what that little clicker push button thing is called, please comment and teach me something. I'm a self-taught woodworker, so everything that I learn is from watching videos and putting my hands on and practicing it. I don't know everything. I definitely don't know the name of that tool. Okay, so I just realized that my pin blank here is a little bit bigger than 2 inches. Well, if you look at my total depth on my drill press, I only got 2 inches. So if we go here and measure this, it actually goes a little bit past maybe 1/4 inch. So it's like 2 1/4 inch. I just measured it. So if I have this in the vise, it doesn't go completely down where I need it to. There's still space. So what I'm going to have to do is take it out, flip it over, and drill from the other side, and hope and pray that my 2 center lines meet up exact and not off kilter. Because if it's off, there's going to be open space on the inside between the wood and the brass tube that I don't need. So I'm going to try to line it up as perfectly as possible. And I'm just rigging this as best I can. This is the only thing I got, so I'm using what I have. I'd like to have a bigger drill press. This little plate's just tiny. This thing is just real short, and I only have 2 inches of play here. So we're gonna stick this inside the jig here. And actually, to give me some more play, I want to raise it up. And we're going to tighten this down. There we go. There we go. It's nice and snug. And what I can do before I even turn it on is make sure that I got that little brad point right in the center of that little nipple that I just made. I guess I could have made the dent with this, but we're there. Alright, so I'm going to drill down as much as I can, then we'll take it out and flip it over and do the other side. I might have enough, I don't know. We'll see. Oh man, it just wobbled on me. Did y'all see that? I accidentally hit it. Don't want that. There we go, we found that hole. It's not wobbling. I didn't mean to hit that. And I know you just want to go down a little bit and then let it back up so the wood chips can exit. If not, you'll burn the wood chips into the bottom, and you don't want that. I have about 1 inch of travel in there so far, and you can tell by my measurements here. This is smooth though. I guess the other trick that I could do is, actually, you know what, I'm gonna try that trick. I'll show you in just a second. Instead of taking this blank out and flipping it over, I'm almost bottomed out here. You can see right here where it bottoms out with the nut. It won't go any further than that. So I have an idea. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna loosen this chuck up, pull the drill bit out some, and that'll give me that last little bit that I'll need. And we'll see if that works. That's a trick. Loosen this up. And we're going to see, let me see how far that bit is. Okay, we'll go like right in there. We'll hope and pray that that's deep enough to bust out the bottom. Now I know on the bottom it's not completely flat. I may have some blowout on the bottom. That's what I don't want. We'll see how this piece turns out. If it does blow out, that's why you need it flush to the bottom. On the bottom of this jig here is a little piece of MDF, so if this blank butts up to that MDF, it won't blow out because you'll have another piece of wood for it to go down under. All right, here we go. Bottomed out. Okay. Well, I don't think it went all the way through. The only way to get it out now is to back this drill bit off. Stick it back in there. Bust this open. Slide it out. Nope. It started to walk on me when I got it started. So we're gonna have to just flip it and hope that we get it right. But there's that little piece of MDF I was talking about. When you do it, this thing's supposed to be down there. But this thing's too far to go, so I pulled it up some. Alright, I think I did not tighten this back down, or did I? I'll double check it. I don't remember if I did or not. There we go. Alright, let's get this to that center piece. There we go. Yeah, I can see straight through there. So I only had maybe a 1/4 inch to go that thing wouldn't reach. But there we have it. And I know one thing they said to test it out, is by pushing your brass tube in there. And actually, I think it's kilted. I don't think my holes lined up right. Yeah, you can see in there that it's a little off. But you learn from your mistakes. That's almost flush. That just means that there's going to be a little bit of play on this end. I'll just put more CA glue over here. Maybe some of this sawdust. Push in there to kind of fill that void. And I'm just going to run with it. This is what I was afraid of by having to take that out and flip it over, is trying to line it up perfect. When I line these lines up, they're probably not the exact same lines over here, unless I just made a mistake. But we're just going to go with it. Pray and hope for the best. But now I know what I need to do is get this scuffed up with some sandpaper, take some CA glue, shove it in there, and then let it dry. And then we'll be on with our next steps. Alright, I ended up fixing that little kink and was able to get the tube all the way through. And now we just got to scuff up the brass tube. I have some 120 sand grit and just going to scratch it up some. As you can see, getting those marks. I'm kind of going at a diagonal pattern. And what this is going to do is create some grooves for the CA glue to ride in and give it a good mechanical bond to the wood. I could, you know, go cross hatch and go the other direction, but I think this would be fun. I'll get the ends. Almost kind of looks like a candy cane. Definitely want the ends to bite in there and hold the CA glue so it doesn't slip. There you have it. That thing is roughed up. And if you can't tell, this is my left one in my left hand. And here's my right one. You can see the difference. It'd be cool to actually use a shell casing to make a pin. Like this be the brass tube. Anyway, I'm going to do the other one off camera, and then I'll show you the next step. Alright, what I got here is some CA glue medium. And CA is a weird word. It stands for, it's short for cyanoacrylate. Cyanoacrylate glue. It's basically super glue. I do have an activator, and what you do is if you spray the activator on there, it basically freezes instantly and like immediately it cures. But if not, it'll dry in like within 5 minutes, like regular super glue does. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to let it set up and just cure naturally, and then we'll do the next step. But I got a little wipe here just in case I get it on my fingers. So just apply some on there. It's spinning around. This is really going to be set in there. I want this whole thing completely like saturated. I'm not trying to really pour more out. I'm just trying to use the lid to, or the cap nozzle to spread it out. I don't care if this cap nozzle gets it all over. It's better than on my fingers. There we go. Looks like we're pretty evenly coated all around. We'll take our blank. That's the bad side. I marked it. So I want to get it in here. Pry this cap out of here. There we go, and I'll use the cap to push that down. That's flush. And so I don't have to grind a bunch of that off later. I'm just going to wipe it off on this end. And then there you have it. You can see the other end, and we'll trim that down in the next step. You can see all the space, but we're flush on this end. I'm barely going to touch this end. And then, it's inevitable. It always gets on you no matter what. So, that'll be ready to go, and then we'll just go ahead and do this one as well. I did sand this one off camera, so it is ready to go. Sorry I got quiet. I'm just really concentrating right here. Not that I need to, because it's not a hard job. I'm just really tired. It's late at night right now. All right, it looks like it's all coated everywhere. We'll set that there. This one went straight through. I drilled it off camera. There we go. We'll get that one in there. This one I'll actually push in a little deeper. Use some of the SIG glue from this end to put on this end. Let me set that down a second. It's a lot of extra glue. I probably went really heavy on it, but I know it'll be stuck in there and really adhere. A good mechanical bond. There we go. Let me just wipe this off real quick. Piece one on my table there. All right, so we got just a hair, maybe a 1/16 of an inch, maybe an 1/8. This one just got a lot of CA glue on this end. Oh, it's actually inside. I need to get in there and try to get some of that out. Well, I guess that's what the next step is for. We're going to ream it, and it'll cut that glue out. So it'll be all right. There you have it. I'll put that as a background so you can see. There's a lot of CA glue like lumping up in there. But anyway, that's it for this step. That's cleaned off. I got that cleaned off too. I already kept that. The next step, I'll ream it and we'll end mill it. And that way it's perfectly perpendicular. And then we can get to turning. Yay, the part I've been waiting for. And we'll see how the journey of my first pin goes. Thanks for tuning in. See you on the next one. All right, it is the next day in recording these videos, and it is time to ream the core or the brass tube while trimming the ends, making it perpendicular. I got my blanks here. If you look closely, you can see that's how the grain lines up. All right, we're just going to start with one. This is the one that's pretty bad and pretty deep, so we're going to cut this one a lot. So I have my reamer bit with the end mill that's going to cut it flush. And I'm going to do my best try to do this in the video so you can see it. You just stick this in there. It's actually glue, it's not wanting to go in that end. We'll go in this end, try to clear that glue out the other side, but this is the tough side anyway. So it's in there, we're just going to trim it down, and you'll see that we'll shorten the end of the wood here. That thing's not wanting to cut. I'll put this on drill mode. That's probably why. You can see where it's starting to make grooves. I'm going to speed this thing up some. I'm going to try the other end. I think the glue might be out of the way now. So you want to go from what I learned, just until you can see the brass, but since I put that on the very edge, I don't have to go very far. Actually, I see what's happening. It's a good learning opportunity right here. They have a brass tube that comes with this kit. And when you put it on the reamer, it only goes so far. And I can just tell with my naked eye that this is not all the way up against the end mill here. So what I need to do is actually move the end mill down some more so I can actually cut. There's a small hair between the end of the brass tube and the end mill, and that's why it's not cutting. So give me a moment and let me adjust that, and then we'll get right back to cutting. Okay, a few seconds later, what I did was, you see the space between the chuck, that's angled taper, and the back of the end mill, there's a gap there now. You can see it. A while ago I had it flushed up against there, so I moved it only that little bit, and we'll see here if it actually does what it's supposed to now. I can smell that it cut not wood only, but metal as well. And I can see the cut marks in the metal, so I know I actually hit it that time. Alright, now I just got to cut this side down quite a bit. If I can get the reamer in there. There we go. This wood is very hard or stubborn. I don't know why it's not really wanting to cut. But it's being difficult. Let me try the other piece. I don't know what's going on with it. It's not cutting like it should be. I hope that reamer don't come out and cut my hand that I'm covering in the hole. That would hurt. I don't see this working like it's supposed to. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stick this in the vise over there, and we'll continue this on the vise. I'm not sure what's going on with this tool here. It should cut, but maybe the CA glue is pretty hard to cut, or this wood is very, very hard, or that tool, brand new, is just not sharp enough to cut it. It feels like this is a hardwood, and I'm not sure, because I'm not sure what a bloodwood is. I'm guessing a bloodwood is a hardwood. So I just try to sample with the one block. I have my other one here. So what we gotta do is actually square this thing up, because it could be kilted a little bit. So what I decided to do, instead of using the drill press, I'm just going to use my sander here and square it off that way. I'm going just until the sander touches the brass tubing on the inside. Let's watch. Alright, so what I'm going to do on this one is get it down really close, and then I'm going to switch to the little one down there. This is a coarser grit. That's a finer grit. That's why I said that. That's pretty close. So I'll go that one, but I'm going to hit that one's really close anyway. Alright. I'm just going to touch it. And Rotate it. Touch. Rotate. Touch. Rotate and touch. And there we are. You can see that that piece right there is perfectly flat. And it's parallel. Because that's a 90. And on this side, we're going to do the same thing. And that's pretty good. And earlier in the video, you can see when I flipped that around in the drill. Yesterday when I flipped it around in the drill, it didn't line up perfectly. You can see that little hair. It's not much, but it's there. I ain't worried about it. It's literally a little bit thicker than a human hair off. And this one did the same thing. Barely. Not as bad though. And you can tell how off it is a little bit. That's perfectly centered. There's no gap between the brass and the wood. But this one has that little gap there. And that was from yesterday. Anyway, now I got these pieces together. And since I don't have my line, I'll use that as my wood grain line there. Now we'll go assemble it on the lathe. Okay, here we are at the lathe. Here's my mandrel. I'll take the knurled nut off the end. I have some bushings just sitting on there already. There's 1, 2, 3 of them. And these 2 blocks you cannot put together like that. You have to have them separated. So bushings between blocks. So we'll take these 2 off. I'll put this one on all the way down. Then I'll take a bushing, insert it. My other block, insert it, and then my last bushing here will slide on. And I don't have enough space for my nut to go all the way down to the end. If you look here closely, and zoom in, there's no threads. So I need to find a spacer to add some length to it to give me clearance from there to here so I can tighten it down. So let me find something and then I'll continue assembling that. Okay, don't you just love making small mistakes and learning from them? So I actually don't need another spacer here to bring this nut back. What happened was this rod that goes into this taper part of this mandrel actually has threads on the inside of here. And this rod was loose and it had backed out, creating space back here. So I tightened it down, which gave me more threads over here by driving that in. And now everything's tight and ready to go. And first time to turn on a wood lathe. Let's go. I know that on each workpiece that you're on, you start in the center and work your way out. So you'll start here and work out. And you'll want to get this from a square stock to a round stock. about that is it pulls all this chip out down there. So I've only hit the corners a little bit, as you can tell. But slow is smooth and smooth is fast. I probably could use some light over here. That'd probably be helpful. Here's some chips right there. Those are big. I still got some flats. You can see the flats. Getting there though. Trying to get a feel for the tool. Oh, something's backing up. You see that? I have a feeling that's coming unscrewed again. Let me fix that. That'll be an issue. Yeah, look at this. That was loose. Okay then, but that's almost rounded. Let me back this nut off. Get these back out of the way. You see that spinning? I don't know how that loosened up like that, but it did. If that keeps happening, I'm just gonna tack weld that in the spot. What I'm gonna do is get a cloth, bite it over here, and I'm gonna wrench it down. Use a cloth so I don't damage the threads. I'm gonna do that off camera, then get back at it. Okay, I got it tightened down. And we're back in action. This thing is almost round. You see a little bit of flat left. I don't know why it gets loud on that end. Feels pretty smooth. And look at that, it is no more round, or no more square. Sweet. Alright, now I'm going to do the other one to get it like that. And I'm going to do that off camera though, so you don't have to watch. And then we'll be back soon to go the next step. Alright, we got them both rounded. Looking pretty good. And I used this tool. I'm not sure the name of it. I'm brand new to this. I'm still learning. But I'm going to switch to this other one that's a little bit smaller. And it has these shapes cut off and curved back. So I'm going to speed up the lathe a little bit. And then just see what this tool does. I got room to play with here, so if I mess up anything, it's way on the outside, because I know you got to get these down to the size of the bushings, because the bushings the same size as the brass tube that's on the inside. So I still got a little more than a 1/4 inch to go, maybe 3/8 inch. So I got time to play with it and just see what these other tools do. There you go. Got that down a little bit. And there's another tool I'm going to switch to here in a minute and do on this one just to see what it does. Alright, here's the one I just used for that one. And this is the one I want to switch to now. Has a different end on there. And I'm going to use that one for this just to, again, play around with it, see what it does. It seems the same, but a smaller cut. Yeah, I don't really like this one as much. Seems like it would take forever. Probably for smaller detailed stuff. Unless I want to like put a line in there, like just. I'm doing this on purpose. Yeah, it's like putting a little groove in there. I guess that's for small, fine detail stuff. I'm gonna go switch tools again and try something else. Alright, this thing is just flat and solid. The beveled edge up there, and it's rounded. Let's play with it and see what it does. Okay, that's really taking off some. That's a hogger right there. That thing will really hog off some wood, some meat. I like that one. And they're about the same. I'm gonna go back to the other tool that I was using. This one. Just to see how it compares to the one I was just now using. See which one hogs off more. They seem like they do about the same. They seem like about the same amount of wood comes off. I'm gonna switch back to the big one from the beginning that went from square to round. See what it does compared to that little one. I'm assuming it'll take more off. definitely louder. I'm gonna definitely have to go learn the names of these tools. But I don't know, I like that one I just had before this one. But I'm going to be switching to this, so I start tapering the corners here to get these down to the bushings. This is loud. It's like it's skipping, like as if there's a lot of, hold on, that shouldn't be all long like that. It's like long and short, long and short. Should be the same. That's weird. Huh. I don't know. See it changing colors? That's weird. That's just weird on this one how it does that wonky wobble. The rest of them don't. I'm gonna slow it down just a hair just to see if that does anything. If I left it like that, that'd be a fat pin. Alright. I'll go back to this flat, solid, thick one. Hog off some here. That's pretty smooth. I'm going to use that other one back on this side again. There we go, we're getting there. Now I'm going to taper these corners all the way down the bushings. I'm going to speed it up though, max speed. I don't even know what these RPMs are. It just doesn't seem like they're as fast as they were the other day when I was watching the class at Rockler. Max RPMs though is 1700. Now it's about right where I want it. With the tooling, the turning, I'll just sand the rest of it. Now it's a little more rounded, bigger. Now it's thinner. I'm gonna leave it like that. Then we use that for the top portion of the pin. This is the bottom part. So the pin will be right like this. Anyway, now we got to get to the sanding part. So I gotta get some sandpaper. I can remove this out the way. I don't need it no more. And then I'll sand it up. And then we'll put the finish on. Then we're done. Alright, here I got some sandpapers. We got a 120. Then we have a torn up 180. And then I have a 220. And then a 400. Then I'm going to go in the order until I get to the micro fine super sanding ones. Alright, that was it. I do remember them saying in other videos and stuff that I watch, once you go this way with it, you do need to go perpendicular. So we're going to hit that up real quick, perpendicular. And yes, I'm just scratching around over the bushings. They're metal. That ain't really doing much with the sandpaper. Alright, then I'm just going to put this to my right side because I know that I already used it. 120 is done. Now we're going to go to this 180. And actually, I'm going to do it the right way this time because that was getting warm. Press my finger on it. It almost looks like a pin already. So this is 180. I believe that's what I said. Yeah, 120, 180. I'll just see a spot on here I missed, that's all. That's easier over here because I got the light on the right side of me. Like the correct side, not my right side. Alright, then we're going to go with 220. What I like about these sand nets, you just shake them off and then they're clean again. See that? Clean. Oh yeah, it's getting real smooth. Like a smooth criminal. Ba-da-bum-bum, 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 bum, ba-da-bum-bum. Ba-da-bum-bum, ba-da-bum-bum-bum. Annie, you okay? You okay? You ugly Annie. You've been hit by, you've been struck by a smooth criminal. You sang the rest of it, didn't you? I usually have music going, but when I'm recording a video, I don't have background music. Boy, I tell you what, man, that's looking pretty smooth right there. I think so far I ain't done too bad on my very first pen. As long as I get assembled correctly, I think I'll be all right. 400. I was also told during the... I didn't take the class, but I was at Rockler watching the class. When you're doing this part, do not stand in one spot just sitting here, because you'll dig a hole. You might as well put a tool back on it. So you got to keep constant movement on it so you don't dig into the material. Like if I just stood here, I'm just going to be taking a lot of material away. This Bloodwood's a pretty color that I'm working with. See that? Alright, there we are. We have it all the way up through 400 grit. I'm going to go get these other sand pads and show you what I'm going to do next. Now here we go. I bought this little package here. Micro Mesh, regular cushion abrasives. Micro Mesh Ultra Flex. According to the back here, the Micro Mesh cushion abrasive starts at 1500. So we just finished on 400. So we're jumping from 400 to 1500. And that's damn near tripling it. And then it runs all the way up to 12,000. I don't think I'm going to go up to 12,000. I'm just going to do the first three, which is 1,500. I know the video sideways. Sorry. I'm reading and the lathe's in the way. So we'll do 15. And then we'll go up to 18. And then we'll finish it up at 2,400. It's already smooth as it is right now. But this kind of puts like a higher gloss on it too as I go up. So let me get these opened up and we'll start doing these three right here, 15, 18, 24. All right, according to the color chart, brown is 1,500, This forest looking green is 18. And then this navy bluish gray is kind of like a 2400. So we're going to go in this order. Brown, green, blue, gray. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to clean the dust off from all the other thicker sand pads, so let me go get a rag to wipe that up. Wipes. A stay-at-home dad's best friend. I'll just get that cleaned up real quick. See, man, that's a nice looking color right there. All right, get that wipe out of here. Let that dry for a second. And then we'll continue sanding. Still with 1500. There we have it. 1500 is done. That's so smooth already. Then we'll go up to 18. Wait. Not yet. I don't know if you're supposed to do this now at this high grit because you can't really tell, but I'm going to go ahead and rub it sideways too. Just like earlier. This might be wrong, but oh well. Alright, now 15's done. Back to 18. And this green one, remember, is 18. So it's just weird when there's awkward silence. I feel like some kind of noises need to be made. So I will talk and just say something. Such as a reminder of what grit I'm on. Now moving up to the final grit is 2400. Oh, I can start seeing it shining. Reflection off the light, I can see it. I can see how it's turning into a higher gloss finish. But I'm not picky. I'm going to leave it right here. This is my final sanding stage. I think I'm going to do this CA glue finish, which gives it a real high sheen. And also the glue itself kind of gets into the little pores and fills them in and makes them solid. Yeah, and you have a good hard piece of material. But there you have it. There is my turned pen. Oh. Trying to focus it. There we go. Alright, next up, finish. Okay, so a while ago, I lied, and I didn't mean to. Sorry. But hey, I'm a human, I make mistakes. And with the microfine, the micro mesh sanding pads, they're wet pads. I was supposed to get them wet, and that's where I lied at. I didn't know. I'm a rookie, brand new. It's my first pen. I'm a beginner. I'm going to make mistakes, but guess what? You learn from them. And now that I made that mistake, probably won't do that no more. Now, moving on, I'm going to take the easy way out. I could do a CA glue finish. I don't want to. I don't have the right tools. I'm supposed to have these plastic nylon tapered bushings. I don't have those, and I don't want to glue the blanks to my metal bushings. So I'm not doing a CA glue finish. And I don't have any other like finish made specifically for these. I do have some other wood finishes, and since these blanks are made of wood, I figured that other applications, like I make charcuterie boards and tables and stuff, I have other finishes that I will use for those. I figured I could use those for pins as well. So I'm just going to use what I have and take the easy way out. And what I have is walrus oil. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this on there and call it a day. So that's what I'm going to do. Watch. Here we go. Alright. I angled it, try to zoom in so I can get a good, clear, focused view on this. I got a rag, a little microfiber rag. Walrus oil, I'm just going to put a little dab on here. Oops. And that should be good to go. And that's all I'm using. I'm going to rotate the rag. Now I got it in there just to buff it in now and have a cleaner side of the rag. I do use these when I make my charcuterie boards. It is a food safe product. I don't need a food safe product for a pen. We're not eating the pen. I'm not putting the pen in my mouth, but like I said, I'm just using this because it's what I have. So I'm just using what I got. I'll learn more as I go and make more pens. I'll get more materials as I go as well, get the right stuff. But I just wanted to finish this pen from start to finish today. And with like my charcuterie boards and stuff, sometimes I put a couple coats, especially once the first one dries up. So I'm going to get this buffed in here, and I'm probably just going to hit it again. Simply by just using the same corner of the rag. If I can find it, there it is. I'll just do this twice. Wood is probably not going to soak up a whole lot of oil because there's not a whole lot of wood here from the outside of this pen to the center. It's a very little amount of wood. And I turned the RPMs down on the lathe, so it's going a lot slower. I did go and watch some videos on finishes, and there's a thing called a friction finish. Those look pretty cool. I do want to do those. And you'll definitely want to slow it down, but you just basically buff your liquid of whatever it is in. Uh-oh. Woo! And that's another reason you want to slow it down. I got caught up in that knurling knot. That was close, but dang. That looks super nice. I like that. Anyway, I was saying that liquid, what was I saying? Oh, you just apply pressure to the pin as it's spinning and it causes friction, which is how it cures to the wood. But that's actually smooth. I don't feel no oil on it. So I'll just do a final wipe down with the towel here. And we'll call it a day. I can finally pull this off the lathe now and actually assemble it all together. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Alright, finally the assembly. I just pulled the tubes off, and I do got to show you a mistake I made, because hey, I'm human and we make mistakes. You can see that there's a step. You see right there, it goes up, over, up. Whenever I was trying to taper this corner up here, apparently I went into the bushing and grinded it off, so there's going to be a little bit of gap. Oh well, making a mistake. First time ever. It's going to happen to some people. Well, that was easy. It said to press that on, but that just slid on real easy. I'll just push that onto here now. Put that little, it's the cap. Come on. We just got stuck in here. Sorry about that. Cap in the clip. Go under the upper part of the tube. There we go. Try to do it where you can see. There's a flat spot in here. There we go. I need to make a jig for this because this thing's sliding all over the place. And all I was doing here was press fitting the cap onto the upper tube. So there's the top of the pin. Then the next thing says to press the tip onto here. So you can barely get it on. It's going to go in here. Let me turn this way this time so y'all can see. There's a little circle inside on both of these. And I'm just trying to line these up dead center over those. There we go. started going sideways. I didn't like that. There we go. There we go. Now it's going in straight. I think. No, crooked. It's doing that because the other end is jacked up. There we go, and you can see right there where it comes snug together. Dang, this vise gets in there. Okay. And all the vise did was actually kind of flatten that out some. But there's the lower. Your lower, your upper. And it says we got to put the, what is this thing called? The twist mechanism into here. Yeah, good thing to have the vise, because this thing is hard. Oops, dropping my pen. Alright. It says to go until this little bitty indent is just at the front of that. I'm going to zoom in so y'all can see this part. You can see this little indent, not the brass part, but just past it, there's an indentation. Go until it just reaches that other piece. That's kind of walking all over me. I'm trying to keep it square as I push it in. You can see it though, scooting in. There we go. I think that's good enough. I don't know if that's right or not, but it says you can always go back and push it in further, but once you push it in, you ain't pulling it back out. Alright, screw that out. Then it says put your pin cartridge inside the twist mechanism. Screw it in. And I think that's right, because if you look at that, that's about standard depth where they come out at as I twist it. And the next thing is put this piece on here. And this part is said to assemble by hand to line up your grain. I don't remember how the grain actually went, but oh, there it is. You can see the U-turn that it takes. That's actually, yeah, see if that says darker with it. There we go. And it should be in the closed position. Line it up in the closed position. And if it's off, just slide it right back off. Make sure this thing is all the way closed. Trying to get it just right. Open, close. Voila. There we have it. My first pin. But I want to show you. There's a small gap right there. So maybe next time I should press that in a little further. That piece that was bent was right in there, but you can't even tell. And I think it chipped out right there. You can see that little chip out. That's very minor though. And then you have this end. I like how it goes from like a light to a dark. And of course your clip. And there you have it. My first pin. I like it. Yay. Well, thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Have a good one. Peace.